Hi everyone, my name is Eric Dominguez and I am a communications, confidence, and storytelling speaker, trainer, and consultant. And today I have two intentions for this video. The first one is to introduce myself. I've had a lot of new followers and a lot of new connections, and I want to share with you who I am and what I do in the world. But the second intention is really to equip you. And I'm going to give you a tool that will help build not just your confidence, but help build the confidence of your teams. It's an activity that really puts people in a public speaking environment in a low stakes situation, and you get to connect and learn about each other. So the activity is called 3 in the Bag, and you get a bag of any size. I've seen Ziploc bags, I've seen trash bags, I've seen random sports bags that I got at a random sporting event, just like this. And you take 3 items that best represent you, and you put them in the bag, and you do a little bit of a show and tell. You pull out each item and you relate to the audience what it is and how it represents who you are and what you do. So I'll begin. My name is Eric Dominguez. I'm originally from Mexico. I spent the majority of my life in Arizona before moving here to Des Moines. I started Speak Up Stories, which is my speaking and consulting company, in January of 2020 with a passion to redefine what it means to powerfully communicate. So that's going to be my very first item. First item represents my skill, my passion, my talent in communications. Some people call it public speaking, but I define communication a little bit different. This mug, which says, "Do it, go ahead, tell that story again," represents what I feel is communication. I have coached so many public speakers in my 25 years of doing this. And every time that I coach a public speaker, there's this nerves that overwhelms the brain, right? There's these nerves that really prevent us from being ourselves. But communication is the same, whether it's one-on-one conversation, small group conversations, or a public presentation like a speech. They all have the same fears and desires. So the reason why I use this coffee cup to represent how I feel about communication is that communication should be conversational. It gets to have intentions, it gets to have strategies, but really, when you are communicating with someone, you're telling your story. That story could be personal, it can be professional, but the key is that every time you open your mouth, you are powerfully and joyfully communicating. Because one of the definitions that I have for public speaking is that public speaking is every time you open your mouth and words come out. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. Public speaking is every time you open your mouth and words come out. Even though I'm recording this video with absolutely no one nearby, I am public speaking. So I support individuals in sharing their story and powerfully communicating in whatever that communication context might be. The second item represents my skill, my talent, my mission in building confidence. And the item is this jump rope. Now, if you're familiar with this style of jump rope, this is what is used in CrossFit. So for 7 years, I have been one of those CrossFit absolute fanatics. Now, let me be clear. I'm not so obsessed that I have quit my job and given up everything to make it to the CrossFit Games. I truly, truly admire those athletes. That's not where I'm from. In fact, growing up, I was not athletic at all, not even a little bit. But I always wanted to be. I always desired to have athletic ability. And 7 years ago, when I accidentally wandered into the CrossFit gym, it was really, really overwhelming. But day after day, it taught me something about myself and about confidence. Confidence isn't assurance. Confidence isn't a guarantee. In fact, I know that when I walk into the CrossFit gym, it's highly likely that I'm going to fail, that I'm not going to achieve the goal that I set for myself, because that's the way that CrossFit is designed. It's designed to push you to your absolute maximum, to your absolute limits, and then push you beyond that. And that to me represents confidence and how I teach confidence. That we're constantly pushing ourselves just slightly outside of our comfort zone. The other reason why I use this particular item to represent confidence is that it took me almost 2 years to learn how to jump rope CrossFit style, which is double unders. And it was a daily frustrating grind. Daily frustrating grind. I would work on these every single day for almost 2 years. And finally, I got to the point where I felt confident in being able to do that movement. Not assured, because there are some times when I do the movement and it completely flops, but I know that I have the skills because I have developed consistency in those skills. And the final item that I have is this book, The 4 Agreements. Now, this book represents my talent, my skill, and my passion for storytelling. And it represents a very powerful story in my life. So about a year ago, my family and I decided that before bedtime, we would read through this book because it has a lot of great wisdom. And as we're reading through this book, we get to a particular page where he starts speaking about how our words matter and how we get to use our words to say kind things about ourselves. That is the primary point of all communication and all confidence. So in this moment of, impromptu parenting, I said, okay, let's all walk, kind of go around the room and say one nice thing that we like about ourselves. And if you're a parent, you are familiar with the squirm, right? It's this like little itty bitty movement that you see in your kid that represents frustration. And I had both of my sons, ages now 10 and 8, and my girlfriend, the love of my life, Whitney, with us. And the two boys started squirming in between us because they couldn't find one nice thing to say about themselves. Not one. These young kids had already created a story in their brain that it was not okay for them to say nice things about themselves out loud to others. And that's the heart of storytelling. Storytelling is understanding that you are absolutely worthy to tell that story, whatever that story may be, professional or personal. So we developed a habit, and they're called likables. Every night before we go to bed, we share our likable for the day. What's one thing that you like about yourself? It could be something that you did that day. It could be something that you consistently do, but we're consistently acknowledging who we are, how powerful we are, and how worthy we are to tell that story. And in order to properly tell any style of story, you got to start by acknowledging yourself and by absolutely feeling that you have what it takes to tell that story. So that's a little bit about me. Again, I speak, I train, I consult on communication, on confidence, on storytelling. My encouragement to you is to bring this 3 in the bag speech activity to your teams, to not just find out a little bit more about them, but to really give each member of your team a little bit of confidence as they speak on what they know best, which is themselves and the work that they do in the world. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.